There's lots of substantive criticism in the media of Donald Trump, and that is just fine, whether you don't like his foreign policy, his appointments, the call to Taiwan, the Carrier air conditioner deal. This is how the media should cover a president-elect. But there's a new market niche that is emerging here, and I'm struggling to come up with a name for it. It is kind of like fine wine, W-H-I-N-E, because it gives a platform to people who just don't like Trump and says he's screwing up their lives. Really, seriously. You have Billboard interviewing Madonna who offered, I guess I have to describe it as sexual favors to any man who would vote for Hillary Clinton during the campaign. She now says that Trump's election feels like someone died. And it feels like death, and it's not a bad dream, and she wakes up and blah, blah, blah. We also have a guy who got space on the New York Times op-ed page, a Republican elector in Texas who says, all right, I may be bound or at least morally obligated to vote for the GOP candidate who won my state, but I don't like Donald Trump. I don't think he's fit for office. I don't like his foreign policy. Why is he picking fights with Alec Baldwin? So I'm not going to vote for him. So that's just a stunt. Doesn't affect the outcome of the election. I don't quite see why this guy gets valuable real estate. But the one that absolutely takes the cake, and you know, it reminds me of all the pieces that we have all read during the campaign about couples that were going through therapy because one liked Trump and one liked Clinton and they weren't getting along, or the post-election pieces about Thanksgiving, how to get through a Thanksgiving dinner, even if you have a couple of crazy relatives who voted for Donald Trump. But here's a woman named Stephanie Land, and she gets space in the Washington Post to tell her story. And the story is that she's a single mom, and she was dating, trying to find a partner, and she went through as many as 6 dates in 1 week. And you kind of feel like it's going to end up with, well, her boyfriend didn't like Trump and they broke up. But no, it's even weirder than that. Stephanie Land, who lives in Montana, says there were a couple of guys she was considering as permanent boyfriends. But then, once it was clear that Donald Trump would be president instead of Hillary Clinton, I felt sick to my stomach. I wanted to gather my children in bed with me and cling to them like we would if there were thunder and lightning. That world felt precarious to me. So when she considered the guys she had been dating, she said, well, they're too unfamiliar. I have to rely on my friends. And she told one of these fine gentlemen, I can't. I just can't. And Stephanie Land says, I've lost the desire to attempt the courtship phase. So she is so depressed over the prospect of a Trump president that she can't go out with anybody. Now, if she were telling this story to her friends, fine. But I don't really see how Trump messed up her life. She messed up her life or doesn't want to date anymore because she's so depressed and blah, blah, blah. Why are editors giving a platform to these people? I suppose it gets some clicks and sells some papers and it's entertaining to read. But it just makes me feel like, you know, maybe many people they know are so upset about Trump that they don't know what to say. They can't speak. They've lost their appetite. They feel ill. They can't date. They can't go on. And it's just getting kind of frivolous. And it's getting kind of old.